Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. This wreath reminds me of a pinwheel. Remember the ones that we used to use as kids? That's what this wreath reminds me of. This is the Dean Michael Petal, and I'm going to link her channel below. I want you to check her out. She gave me special permission to use her petal in my tutorial, and thank you so much, Trish. But let's get started and let's make this beautiful wreath. Okay, so the first step we're going to do is we're going to get our poly burlap mesh ready to put this wreath together. I want to kind of show you exactly the color blues that I'm using for this poly burlap so that it's just really clear what I'm using. This one is a royal blue, so when you look at poly burlap, there's only a very limited amount of colors available. I think really only one company actually sells this or manufactures this. So this is the royal blue, this is just the blue, and then this is the turquoise color. And so I have already cut up here some of the royal blue and some of the blue, and now I'm going to show you how I cut them to make the petal. And for me it was just a little easier to do this. So the first step would be to cut these at 10 inches long. This is a 10-inch roll, so I'm going to cut several pieces here at 10 inches. I'm going to use my Woodburner, and I have my cutting glass underneath of this, my Woodburner. And if you can see the tip, I don't know, you can see that smoke coming off of it. This is the tip I use. The glass, the Woodburner, the mat, everything that I use in my videos is available in my Amazon store, and that link will be in the description below. So let's just cut a couple of pieces here. They're all 10 inches long. And if you notice on my mat, I always put a little mark. There's a mark here at the 20-inch mark and the 10-inch, so that when I'm cutting, I can always see that mark, and it just helps me. So once you have the 10-inch cut, we are going to now take, I'll put my Woodburn to the side. We're going to take our mesh and we are going to make a triangle. Okay? So here's the important thing, okay? When you're looking at the mesh, you have a finished side and then you have your cut side, okay? So when I'm making that triangle, this is key to this petal. I want that petal, that finish of, or the finished side of the petal on my right side, okay? So what I'm going to do is I want that on my right side. This is very important. I'm going to take one of these little weights that I have. A friend of mine, Pearl's Whimsical Wreaths, I believe is her name on Etsy. She sells these and she sent me a pair, and I will leave her link for these down below. But since I had them, they were kind of handy for this, so I'm going to use them. So these are called Pearly weights, and these are the 10-inch. She sells, I want to say, 20 or 21-inch ones too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now take my Woodburner, and you've seen me in probably the last month or so show you a fusion technique, and this is what I'm doing on this. I'm using, I need to go back over a couple of spots there. I'm using this on this petal, and I'm going to show you why here in a moment, so that it fuses the bottom for us, so that when we put our petal together, it's already fused down here. I don't have to worry about anything fraying, and it's just one less step instead of just cutting it or using a rotary cutter. So let's do that one more time. So I'm going to add a little pile here. So I'm going to take it, and remember that step where that finished edge needs to be on the right side of the triangle. And you could use like a ruler, like a metal ruler or something, if you want, instead of something like this. But I'm just going to cut it. And I have some more ideas with this petal. This is the Dean Michael Designs petal. She made this petal up. Oh, I want to check. I need to check on her YouTube channel. But she did this a while ago. I want to say more than a year ago on her channel. And this is her petal, and I wanted to I've had so many people ask me to do a tutorial on this, and she has given me her permission to do that. So I'm going to leave her link below. Make sure you check out her channel too. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a lot more cuts of these. By the time we get to the end of this wreath, and I know I'm doing a lot of talking here, so I apologize, I will be able to tell you exactly how many petals we use. So hold on and let's wait, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so now we're going to put our wreath together. I'm going to use a 10-inch wreath frame. It's just the box wreath frame. And you could use an 8-inch, you could use a 12-inch, you could even use a 14-inch if you wanted to make a really big flower. The only thing that changes is that you would have extra sections, so therefore you would need extra petals if the frame was bigger, or less petals if the frame was smaller. So how are we going to put this together? Well, I'm going to take one of the royal blue here, and the side that we have cut and we have fused together is the side we're going to gather. So you're going to just lay this on your mat or your table, and you're just going to gather it at the end here. Okay, so that is your petal. That's the Dean Michael Designs petal. So we're going to just take a 4-inch zip tie. And we have, on our wreath frame, you have wire 1, 2, 3, and 4. So on that second wire is where we're going to attach our first petal. So what I want to do is, I'm not worried about these cross brackets on this wreath frame. Honestly, I don't think I'm even going to use them. So all I'm going to do is just attach our little petal here. Take my clippers and clip it. Now, here's the thing. If your petal, if you feel like it's slanting too much, what you can do is, you can see how I went on this direction with my zip tie. If you feel like it's slanting a little bit too much, it's okay for it to slant some. You could go the opposite direction on the frame and put another zip tie if you want. And what this will do is, it will help straighten out that petal for you. So it really just kind of depends, excuse me, what you want it to look like. I don't kind of mind the slant. I think it's just the curve of the flower. So now we're going to do the next color. So I'm just going to take the blue color here, and again, I'm going to flip it over to where that seamed side is that we fused it together. That leaves us that top finish side there. We're just going to do the same thing, and we're going to place it slightly on top of the royal blue one. And just attach it. Okay, so there's your next petal. So what are we going to do next? We're going to do the turquoise petal. And you could do a rainbow. If you had a roll of all kinds of poly burlap, you could literally do a rainbow here. So you could just, like, I wonder if I can just slip it in. There we go. We're going to take the turquoise, and again, just do our little gather, which forms our petal. And we're just going to put it. And I just, you know, it's kind of got a beachy feel. It kind of reminds me of a mermaid tail too, the colors in it. So it's just very kind of ocean inspired, these blues together. And if you know, if one side comes out a little bit, just play with your petal a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to keep doing the same process until we go all the way around, and I'm going to keep repeating it. So now I'm going to go back to the royal blue. I'm going to gather it at the end there. And then just put my zip tie. And attach it. And so it's pretty simple to do. You just need to pick out the colors you want. And I think that, you know, for me, I live in Michigan, and spring is coming, and it just seems like it's forever before spring gets here. So it's just nice to make something a little bit, you know, summery or springy, or just kind of reminds me of the sunshine. And so that's what I kind of thought. I thought This kind of reminds me of the ocean, you know, the colors in there. So we're just gonna lay that on top. And so as you can see, I can get about 5 of these petals, okay? So I might be able to get a 6th one. Let's try to get one more in there. And then that way we'll know exactly how many petals will go all the way around here. You know, just play with the petal a little bit. Again, I'm not going on the bracket, just that number 2 wire. All right, so let's say that we put 6 petals per section, okay? So we've got 6 petals, which is in reality only 3 cuts of the 10-inch. So we're gonna do 6 here, and so forth, and I'll come back and show you how we're gonna do the second row. Okay, so we're back, and I got that canvas in the middle there, and we are gonna start on the second row of our petals. So I explained to you, let me just grab one of these here. We have wire 1, wire 2, wire 3, and wire 4. So now we're going to focus on that wire 3, okay? So what do we want to do here? And I really kind of feel like, let me know in the comments, do you remember those pinwheels that we would get in the summertime, and we would blow them and they would go around and they'd have fabulous colors? This is what this wreath reminds me of, a pinwheel. So what are we going to do next? Well, I'm going to take one of the blue petals here, and I do want to say the first round of petals here, we only used, let's see, 15 petals total of the 10-inch. If you took a 10-inch whole square, okay, and then you cut that in half, that makes 2 petals. So what I did is I put 6 petals in each section. So 6 times 5 sections would be 30 petals. So that equals to 10 or 15 cuts of 10-inch, and then you cut it again. So that's the first layer. So the second layer, I think we're going to probably do, instead of 6, we're probably going to do more like 5, but we're going to see, okay? So just bear with me. So what I want to do now is, I started with the royal blue, so now I want to start with this regular blue. So I'm going to go under here, and if you want to use the 8-inch zip ties, go right ahead. It's not a big deal. So I just put my 4-inch zip tie underneath wire 3, and we're just going to take this is the cut edge, the fused edge that I showed you how to do, and you're just going to do the same thing that you did before. You're just going to gather it, and, you know, just play with your petal around with it, and just, you know, see how you want it to lay. So I'm going to just go with this one. So the next one would be the aqua. And I do probably cup that petal just a little bit. So I'm going to do this again. And when I mean cup, you can see the indentation there. I'm going to go like push it up so that it's more like that, okay? So I'm going to put that one right here, and it's going to lay over that blue. So now we're going to add the royal blue. Right next to it. And it's just that same, and sometimes if the under part is coming out a little bit further than my finished part, I'm just kind of playing with it and pulling it underneath a little bit. I also think this would be pretty. I was just thinking, wouldn't it be pretty if you did sort of like a rainbow, but not in the typical rainbow style, but like you would do your blues here, and then you maybe your pinks and your reds, and then maybe your orange and yellows on the inside. So, so sort of like a rainbow, but not, you know, going in the rainbow direction, but maybe someday I'll do that for you. Okay, so we got 3 of them there. Let's see how much. Yeah, I think we're going to put about 5 of these per section. So the outside would have had 6, and I think we're going to do 5. So let's see here. Just pay really close attention that you don't, you know, mess up on your color scheme here. Where is it at? There it is. That's where the 8-inch might come in a little handy because it does get hidden a little bit, but that's okay. All right. And let's do an aqua. I guess aqua, marine, or turquoise, whatever you like to call that. I do believe it's called turquoise on the package. I will look and make sure when I come back, and I will tell you for sure what it says. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. But I got this stuff from the Wreath shop, and I will leave my affiliate link for them below. They're a great resource to get mesh from. You can also order from trendytree.com and craftoutlet.com. So a lot of times burlap, poly burlap is now being sold at Michael's, but it's a much smaller roll, and I haven't heard great things about it. I've heard that people aren't liking the consistency of it. I'll probably have to buy a roll. It's really expensive there too compared to what you can get online. Okay, so definitely 5 petals per section on wire 3. So I'm going to go around here and do the rest of the wires, and we'll come back and we will put the final row of petals. We're going to do 3 rows. If you had a bigger center, you could just get away with 2 rows. It's just really kind of up to you. So hold on, we'll be right back. Okay, so we have the second row done, and I did a total of 27 petals. So it wasn't quite 5 petals per section, it was actually less. But basically we did use, what's 27 divided by 3 is what? Is that 9? Yeah, I think that's 9. I'm not the math girl, guys. I'm not the math girl. So I did 9 sets of the color combination. So basically, so far we have about a full roll total of mesh here. So at this point, if you wanted to use a nice big center, you could, but we're going to go in and do another row of petals here. So what I want to do is I want to start, now that I did the royal blue, the blue, and now we're going to start with the turquoise color. So I'm going to pick where a turquoise petal is, and we are just going to go back 1 spot there. Okay, so here's the turquoise petal, and we're going to go back 1 spot. So I'm going to turn my petal that I need to just do our little scrunch to here, and then that way this is laying slightly forward to where the original one is. Okay, so since we did the turquoise, now we do the royal blue. So I'm going to put these pretty close together here. And let me tell you, I'm about 1 inch or so from the last bar here. So I'm just going to put another petal here. And you could do this any way you wanted, you know, this is just a suggestion, basically. I just want to kind of show you how I would do it. And I really want to encourage you to go check out my friend, Dean Michael Designs, her YouTube page. Find her on Facebook, on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, I'm going to leave you the link down below in the subscription box, and I want you to come find me and let me know that you found me through YouTube on one of my posts. I would love to have you follow me over there. So, okay, wait, nope, that's the aqua or turquoise, and I got to still go look at the package for you. I want to get the right color for you so that we know. And you're just going to keep, you know, following that same pattern, and we want to keep it pretty close. We want to overlap them. So, you know, you don't want too many spaces here. I'm pretty much going, let me show you here. So I'm connecting them in that plastic canvas. And that plastic canvas, I do have this in my Amazon shop. So like right here is where I went. So I'm just going to move over 1 grid and put and it might be a little bit easier to use the 8-inch or even 6-inch zip ties. But if you are on Facebook and you like to create and you like to make pretty things, come join me and my friend Michelle Noble of A Noble Touch. And if you haven't gone on her YouTube channel, I want you to go find her. But we have a group together called Wreath Creators and More, and we'd love to have you come and join. So we're just going to keep going with this. I just love the way that it's looking. It's just so pretty. Okay, so before we get this all finished, we're going to work on the center. I'm going to take this is going to be a Dollar Tree center, y'all. So anyways, I'm going to take these disc foams. You get 2 for $1 at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to transform it into this. Can you kind of see how I've smoothed the edges and I've rounded this a little bit? That's what I want to do here. So all I did, and I want you to be really careful, take a knife, okay? And you're just going to, and I don't want to do this too much because honestly it's going to be really loud. So I'm just going to go around the whole thing. I'm not going to go around right now. So I kind of cut off an edge, okay? And then I just take, if you have sandpaper or a sanding block, I just take this and then I just sand it until I get it more like this where it's more smooth. Now, does this have to be perfect? No, it does not. But what I like about this process is that it gives us a more rounded look. So it's not so harsh with the lines, and I feel like it's a more natural feel. So that's what I want to do here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the rope that I got from Dollar Tree. You could do all sorts of things. You could make one of these sensors that I've shown you how to do and use it in the middle if you'd like that. This is the Hobby Lobby sensor, and I'll link a video that has the sensor in it below as well. Okay, so how are we going to get this started? So you're going to take the end. It always has a little bit of tape on it, so you're going to want to cut that off. And then you're just going to start by putting some glue in the middle. And it's pretty simple, guys. It's just be careful with the glue gun. I should probably have my little glue tips. And I even think I'm going to take one of my T-pens here. And I'm just going to go in at an angle. See, I caught the glue there. Okay. Oops. That hurts. See, this is real life. Okay. I'm okay. So you're just going to go around. You want to wrap it around so that you cover that pen and you cover the edges of that rope, okay? And what you can also do is you can start adding little pins if you want it to have more stability, if it just, you know. So what I can do is I can take a pen, and you just need to make sure that it's at an angle because you don't want that pen to be seen. Okay, so I did it at an angle. Let me show you this. It's really very low so that when I put some more glue on here, it's going to go around. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to step you through this whole process because it's obviously like watching glue dry, literally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this going here. And then I'm going to come back when we're at the end of this. And you're just going to put a little bit of glue and you're going to hold it in place. And then if you want to, add another little pen. So we're just going to keep going all the way around, and then I'll come back at the end and I'll show you how we're going to secure this and put our placeholder that will go into the wreath itself, okay? Okay, so for the record, there's 13 feet on the decorative nautical rope at Dollar Tree. So as you can see, we're not going to use all of it, but if you already have rope and it's not Dollar Tree rope, go ahead and use what you have. So as you can see, I just kept going around and around, and you know, there you go. So we're just going to get the rest of this white sided styrofoam here. And I'm just going to keep adding it too. And just be really mindful of the glue and that it doesn't show through the rope. There we go. So we're going to take it and we are going to just put it over here. We're going to put glue right on here and we're going to glue the rope to it now. So I'm just going to make a line of glue here and just go over it like so. All right. I'm going to take some scissors and cut it. I need some heavy duty scissors there. Okay, so then you're just going to take a piece of felt, and I do this for most all of these types of wreaths that have like a rope or a cording. I just like to do this to kind of hold it down and give it a little extra something. And then I just take a couple pins and go on either side, and it just kind of helps give it a little bit. Okay, so I found some wire and I just cut some off of my spool of wire or whatever. I'm going to take a couple of floral pens and I'm going to shorten these up a little bit. And they just went flying across the room there. That's okay, because this foam obviously isn't going to be 1.5 inches, so you just cut them down. So you're just going to put your wire in the middle of your foam disc, and then I'm just going to take the floral pens and put 2 on them like so. Take another piece of felt, put some glue. Alrighty. All right, and then again, just some more pens here, and then we'll go back and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how many petals we did, and we're going to finish this up. All right, so we're at the end of kind of our pinwheel flower wreath. That's kind of a beach inspired flower wreath with all these beautiful blues. I did check the package. It doesn't say turquoise, but when I go to purchase it online, it usually says turquoise. So I'm sticking with the turquoise, okay? So anyways, what I have figured out is that in total, I used about 34 pieces of 10-inch mesh. Okay, so I took a 10-inch and I cut it, and then we cut it again. So we needed 78 petals. Now, if you only use 2 colors, you could make it less, or if you wanted to use a bigger flower wreath frame, you could do you know, more. So my point is with this, you would just need 1 roll of the royal blue, of the blue, and of the turquoise, and you'll use about 1/2 of a roll, okay, for a 10-inch frame. So now we're just going to take our middle, our center that we just made, our nautical rope, and you know, this would be pretty if you put a shell in the middle or something, or any type of wreath that you want to put it in. So I'm just going to weave it down in the middle here and secure it. Got to get my wire to cooperate with me here. And we're just going to pull it down. As you can see, that's really pretty. And then I'm just going to tighten it up really well here, okay? Because that's the key. You want that center to lay flat on this wreath. And I'm going to tell you how big this wreath is in diameter using a 10-inch wreath frame. And I get my 10-inch wreath frames from consumercrafts.com for like $1.57 a frame. And it's just a very economical way to make a wreath. So if I go over here, you're looking at about 23 inches in diameter to 24 inches in diameter. But I just love how it looks. It's beautiful. I want to thank Trish from Dean Michael Designs. You're the best, Trish. Thank you for giving us this petal. Oh, so long ago, maybe a year and a half. I don't know. I have to check. But I will leave her link in the description below. All my links to all my social media is there, my Facebook groups, my other tutorials that if you like the way I teach here, you may really enjoy some of my premium tutorials that I offer in groups for that as well. So thank you so much for joining me today in Julie's Wreath Boutique on YouTube here. I hope to see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and join me on Instagram. I'd love to have you over there and let me know that you came from YouTube. So if you get to this point and you've watched all the way through, you know how I like to ask for an emoji. Leave me a sunshine, or a sunshine, the face with the sunglasses, something at the beach, okay? I will see you guys later. See you next time. Bye.